We're rolling on this very sad day on September 7th where the battery died before I could notice that it was going to die. And so we lost, who did we lose? Me. We lost me and me and me and me. We lost Nolan, yes we did. We lost Nolan, yeah, we lost Nolan. Nolan's gone forever. And who else did we lose? Tess, yeah, Tess. And who else? Timothy. And the heiress to the throne, yes. Okay. Oh well, let's get back to reality. My word. My word. I'm so sorry. That's a flaw of the Cisco system. Yes. Okay. So, yeah, and you used a catchphrase that the Christians use, which is intelligent design, and that's fine. We're not going to have a debate here and now over intelligent design versus evolution, but
well, I don't think until
but for many of the students in the room, you were wise in giving that a quick going over and not a hard sell. On your second reason, you talk about having a hard time with your concussion in great pain, and you found the presence of your Lord and Savior to be a comforting presence. So that was a personal story that we can take as evidence to you, for you, that worked. So that was a personal story. You said you're involved in crew. I assume that doesn't mean rowing, but maybe Campus Crusade for Christ. Is that what crew is? It's a shorthand. Bill Bright, is this the fellow that started it? No, you don't know. Okay. Used to be a friend of mine, but hey, what do you know? Okay. Yeah, Campus Crusade for Christ. Yeah. And so all of your thoughts were consistent with your PC, and that was fine. And you admitted that you're kind of not always good at reading the Bible and praying, and so you admitted that you needed to do a little work in that area, so that was pretty honest. And your fourth thing, you said you felt, you know, a thing lifted when you perform these actions, and you feel love and the peace that, I guess, passes all understanding or something. So good. We got a summary we didn't get. As your classmate pointed out, there should be no doubt in this room, I'm really personally committed to following Jesus, and you had a catchy tie back to your intro. Your canais, share a side of me I often don't broadcast. Yeah, that's right. Most people keep their religious affiliation to themselves. Hands out of your pocket, bad habit. You grabbed attention, and you sure did, and you wanted to have good pacing. How'd that go?
I don't think I did that well.
No, you needed to slow down and to have more elaboration. But I thought this was most people wouldn't have done this speech, so I thought it was a pretty brave decision. I might add that I've had people try to do this speech as a persuasive speech, and that's when it really goes south. When I had one young lady ask people to get on their knees and to ask the Lord for his forgiveness. And that was pretty dramatic, and no one took a knee, you know, to use the current vernacular, you know. So anyway, nice job. Thank you. Okay, that was Timothy. Yeah, and we already have obliterated Tess. That would bring us to Harnor. And I'm pleased to report, Harnor, that the camera is functioning beautifully. Are you happy about that, Harnor?
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay, Harnor is happy. I'm glad Harnor is happy. Okay, well, you're not, I'm going to move forward. You don't have to move forward. I've had some tall people come my way, so I'll move forward, Harnor. Yeah. Okay, rock and roll, Harnor. I want to get 2 in today still, if I can. So rock and roll. 2 more. Go.
Hi, I'm Harnor.
Hi, Harnor.
I want to start by talking to you about a quote that my high school teacher told me about that she used to tell herself whenever she felt unconfident. Fake it till you make it. This is a quote that I tell myself whenever I feel unconfident about myself, who I am, and my capabilities. Today I want to share with you my personal commitment to building my self-confidence and 2 reasons why I am personally committed to this, and I will also share 3 actions I take to achieve this commitment. I want to talk to you guys about this personal commitment for 2 reasons. Firstly, I think by letting myself be vulnerable about this, I will gain self-confidence eventually about this too. And secondly, I think there might be people in this room who will be able to identify with my struggles, and hopefully knowing you're not alone will make you feel better. And so the first reason that I'm personally committed to this self-commitment is because I want to be able to control the way that I view myself. When I was growing up and when I went through puberty, I gained a lot of weight, and I also had glasses, and I also had braces. And even after losing weight, even after getting contacts, and even after getting my braces off, I still had really low self-esteem. And I thought that no guy would like me. I thought that I was the ugliest person in my friend group. I thought that I was worthless because that's how I saw my appearance. And so because I was unconfident, I sought validation from others for my own appearance. And so there was one time in high school, it was my senior year, there was a boat cruise dance. Every senior class has one. And I wore a black dress that was more revealing than I was used to. I didn't like revealing my body at all when I was younger because I was ashamed of it. And so I took a chance, and I guess you could say it paid off. My friend told me later that there were a couple guys that told her they thought I looked good that night. And I dwelled on that so much because I thought, oh, because this guy is telling me I'm pretty, maybe that means I am actually pretty. And I hate the fact that I didn't think I was pretty until someone else told me that. I wish that I wasn't influenced by how others perceived me. But because I was unconfident, I let others control the way that I saw myself. That's one of the reasons why I'm personally committed to my self-confidence. The second reason why I'm personally committed to my self-confidence is because I want to be able to control my anxiety. I'm the type of person that I stress out very easily and very quickly whenever I think about the future, how Nolan was talking about before. I don't like knowing the unknown, or knowing that there is a possibility of having an unknown. And I also am very hard on myself, and I think that I'm not going to amount to anything, I won't be successful. That's a constant worry that I deal with. And so because I'm unconfident about my capabilities, I get anxiety. There was one time in my senior year, it was around the college off season, and I remember coming home from school and I had a breakdown. In the car the whole time I felt like something was pressing down on my chest. I had a voice in my head telling me, you're not going to get into college. Because you won't get into college, you won't have a job. Because you won't have a job, you won't be successful. And I remember my sister trying to calm me down, and she was telling me, that's not how it works, you'll be okay. But in that moment, my thoughts drowned her out. And I wish that I had had this personal commitment earlier than then, because I feel like if I had been self-confident before, then I wouldn't have let these doubts come into my mind, and I would have believed in my capabilities. So those are 2 reasons why I'm personally committed to my self-commitment. And so there are 3 actions I take. The first action I take is now I tell myself to not prioritize anyone else's opinion above my own opinion. When it comes to my appearance, if I'm happy and if I'm comfortable the way I look, that's all that matters. No one else's opinion should matter more than mine. The second reason why I'm personally committed, or the second action I take, is I tell myself to not worry about the future that I can't control, but to focus on the actions I can take now, and to believe in myself and my capabilities presently. The rest of my future will work out eventually. The third action I take is I am more conscious about the people I choose to be friends with now. In college, we have a lot more agency about who we surround ourselves with. It's not like high school where you see the same people every day for 5 days a week, and that's who you're friends with. And in college, I'm choosing to be around people that make me feel positive. And so, in summary, I've shared with you 2 reasons why I'm personally committed to my self-confidence, and I've given you 3 actions that I take every day to fulfill that commitment. There should be no doubt in this room that I am personally committed to my self-confidence. In the beginning, I talked to you guys about a quote that I tell myself whenever I'm feeling unconfident: fake it till you make it. And this quote makes me feel empowered because it reminds me that no one is going to know I'm unconfident unless I let them know that I'm unconfident. And knowing that fact that I am the agent of my own confidence makes me feel powerful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Students, what did you like?
I'm Crystal.
Crystal, what did you like?
I really liked your speech. I thought it was really relatable, and I could feel the honesty you put in your example.
Thank you.
Improvement.
Hi, I'm Jay.
Hi, Jay.
I liked all your points. You were just talking a little fast at some point, so it was like a bit hard to understand.
What was the time?
4:27.
So you had a little time. You gotta slow down a bit.
I missed a part.
Harnor, I really liked your speech. I use that in coaching my debate team when I see students that are shaking when they have to go up, especially when they're not that familiar with the topic. They have to just, find something to say, and, they have to use some of Aristotle's universals or something else to fill the time. Your intro was a grabber. You tied back to it nicely. Your thesis was fine. Your SIG statement at the end finally sold it to the rest of the group. I appreciate you telling us that you were sort of an ugly duckling with glasses and overweight and all that stuff in high school, and that stuck for a while. And then you showed some skin, and some boys said, "Ooh, Arnor," and you said, "Oh, okay." Well, that was sort of validation, but you're smart enough to know that's a phony validation, but still, kind of it is and it isn't, as you know, and it's tricky business, but I appreciate how smart you are and were about that, how intelligently you talked about it. Everyone needs validation, even if it comes from an idiot guy who's talking through his whatever. I'll leave it at that. On your self-confidence for your anxiety, I like that one. Your actions were consistent with your PC. I like the fact that you don't always do it, but you said you're working on it. That was good. And I like the fact that you're picking and choosing your friends. It's important not to be around people that are nattering nabobs of negativity or other problems. You lie down with dogs, you get fleas, right? My mother used to tell me, a very wise woman from the farms of Nebraska, and she was right, So, very wise to choose your friends, and don't be afraid to say, "See ya." Yeah. You did skip how you feel, which makes it sticky. Had to lose some points there. Harnor. Your summary, your conclusion, and tieback were all good. Can I speak slower? Edit the speech down so you can slow down. Be precise with your words. Don't be vague. How'd it go?
For the first point, to speak slower, I think I was slower than my film speech, but I definitely had more room, I had more time to slow down. And also, because this topic was time sensitive, I felt nervous, so I sped up because of that. And I should have not have done that. And then for the second point, to edit it down more, I tried, this time, whenever I usually prepare for the for the presentation, I retype my outline for what I'm going to say. And this time I try to write it, and that helped me edit it down more.
Good.
And then for my wording, I try to be more personable with my word choices. I think it worked.
Yeah, extemporaneous. Yeah, good. Okay. Nice job. I appreciate your speech. Thank you. Okay, let's hear from Sydney Allen Wade. I know we don't have enough time. Yes, we do. Go.
Hi, I'm Sydney.
Hi, Sydney.
So we all know that in high school, coaches, and in college as well, coaches are supposed to encourage us and support us. However, when I was in high school, my freshman year, my cross-country and track coach, one of the first things she said to me was, imagine how it would feel running without an extra 10 pounds. So that kind of pushed me in the wrong direction for the rest of my high school career, but it also put me in a place where I can grow. So that's why today I want to share with you why I am personally committed to self-care. So today I will tell you 2 reasons I am personally committed to self-care and 3 actions I have taken to do this. I think a lot of people in college, high school, teenagers, and young adults in general always stress themselves out or worry about different things and will let themselves go sometimes and not practice the things to keep their mental health up, to keep their physical health up, and I think this is relatable for a lot of people. So the first reason I am committed to practicing self-care is because in my junior year of high school, I was running my personal best. I was getting the times I wanted, but I started letting my self-confidence go down in the way I looked. It was because I was looking at social media. I was like, oh, I don't match this way of how everyone looks. So I started not eating as much. I was doing 2-a-day practices, and just my intake was not matching how much I was burning. So I lost about 10 pounds within less than 5 days, which was not healthy. And I just wanted to keep losing that weight, but my running times are getting slower and slower. So it made me really frustrated that I was not valuing my own self-health above how I looked. I was feeling vain, and I was looking only at all the social media to tell me how I should look. And that made me feel frustrated, really frustrated about all this, because I wanted my times to get faster. I didn't want to just focus on how I looked and try to live up to Hollywood's beauty standards.
Good.
The second reason I am committed to practicing self-care is because these past years in college, I have bit too much stuff on my plate. Even last week, I had a lot of extracurricular activities going on. I had a lot of stuff I had to do for classes. I had 4 midterms, and I just remembered not saying no to things when people asked, oh, can you attend this extra meeting? Can you come in to the office a few more hours? And I just kept saying yes. And eventually, I ended up just breaking down on my way back to my dorms. I ended up taking the longest way I could possible to get back to Sunset Village and just crying. So I bet everyone saw me just walking around with tears coming down my face. And I felt really upset with myself because I know I need to value my own personal mental health before others. I can't always put others before me, even though I want to help everybody else.
Good.
So there's some few actions I have taken to personally commit myself to self-care. One of them is that I have to remind myself that I cannot always live up to Hollywood standards. We find many different things beautiful, for example, flowers and Christmas lights, but they look nothing alike. So I can tell myself that I can be beautiful in my own way, even if it doesn't match, you say, Kim Kardashian or someone in Hollywood. The second action I have taken to commit myself to self-care is that I try to manage my time better. I try to learn how to say no to different companies. If they say can you come into the office, I was this is an unpaid internship, I'm not going to give you more time than I possibly have. And lastly, the third action I have taken is that I go running, and I think that's one thing that really clears my head. I will go run to the top of the hill, and sometimes I'll just sit there and sit down and look at the view just so I can clear my mind, and then sometimes I'll just keep going and going until finally my brain is clear, my mind is no longer focusing on all my schoolwork, and I can finally just breathe. Doing these actions makes me feel relieved because I know that I am actively trying to achieve my goal of self-care. I know that it won't always be easy to practice self-care, so I know just knowing that I'm really trying and doing these steps towards it, I think is good enough for me. So in summary, I have to give you the 2 reasons I want to practice self-care, and that's because of some of my high school experiences and then how I felt when I stretched myself too thin. And the 3 actions I have taken to do this, which when I tell myself and reassure myself that I don't always have to look like the regular standards, when I manage my time better, and when I go running. So there should be no doubt in this room that I am personally committed to self-care. And maybe it was a good thing that my coach my freshman year told me I needed to lose this 10 pounds if I wanted to do better, because it may have hit me in this bad place, but later in life it really encouraged me to get my sense of self back together. So I think even if someone puts you in a bad place, you always have to remember that there are better times coming. Thank you.
Thank you. All of the time.
5:02.
Perfect. Would you like, students? Hello.
Hi, my name is Harnor.
Hi, Harnor.
I really liked your speech. I thought that you had really relatable experiences, and I think that you were very eloquent about how you spoke.
Improvement.
Yeah, I agree with
Name.
I'm Kyler. I agree with Harnor. I think maybe kind of towards the end you were kind of looking to the side, trying to remember the last points, but other than that, it was good.
Started with a very graphic description of someone telling you you've got to drop 10, very dramatic, and you tied back to that and then transformed it into a good thing, sort of, and that was a good tie back, and you sort of, alluded to it in the middle too, and so I like that. Self-care, yes, and, saying no, you gotta practice it in the mirror, so you're really convincing different people, different scenarios. It's really hard, but you gotta learn to do it. Your SIG statement, good. Junior year, yeah. Facebook, I want to look like Twiggy or somebody. I don't know about this Kim Kardashian. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah. So, your running got slower because you weren't healthy. And so that was a good story, and that was very personal, and you shared something you would normally share. So that was authentic. Self-confidence, all these clubs, all these activities, and you're a people pleaser. You can't say no. And I love the crying on the way back to the dorm. That was real. That was authentic. That was good. So that was, took courage to share that. That was perfect. And your actions, yes. Hollywood standards, yes. They're there. Thank you, Harvey, whatever his name is. Harvey Levin, or what's his name? Harvey what? Weinstein or something. Weinberg? I don't know. Something. Anyway, just say no, and running, all good, and you did the 4-step very nicely. It was just the right amount of how you feel when you take the steps. Your summary was nicely done, and not just 2 reasons, 3 actions, but you reminded us of what the actions were, which I really liked. I was worried you were going to run way over, but you didn't. And the tie back was good about the 10 pounds. Your canais. I want to make my body language look inviting and not closed off. I want to better engage my audience with my speech. I want to be not so nervous and be a better speaker when I start off my speech. How did it go?
I try not to have my hands in front of my body the whole time while I'm speaking. When I'm standing here now, I'm kind of doing it though.
Right, yeah.
I tried to look at the audience more, but Calder said at the end, I was trying to remember some of my points. I was looking to the walls. I think I got better. And then I think I started off my speech a lot better than I did last time.
Yeah, it was a very good job. Thank you, Sydney Allen Wade. Okay, our work is done for the day. Return with honor.